All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this Greenbelt Hackathon, which is very important. 3 days live hackathon we will be actually going through. And what is the logic of this 3 days certification hackathon? Let me first of all explain you by taking you to my whiteboard. Okay. So actually, what used to happen was this: people used to attend our yellow belt session, which happens on Sunday, and later on, with the enthusiasm, they would upgrade themselves, they would study, but because of some reason, they would not go for the examination. Okay. And we just were observing the trend of the people not going for the examination. There were so many reasons. A lot of time has gone since they have given the examination, fear of failure, and don't have the time, other priority. There are so many reasons, we thought. So then we designed a program called Hackathon. Now in the hackathon, what we do is we basically go through the main content of the course, kind of a quick revision of this, and then we push gently people to the examination. Okay, so that is the logic behind hackathon. Who should attend the hackathon? Everybody should attend the hackathon, because you get next level experience into this. We also love conducting these kinds of live hackathons and give training. So the logic is, for example, the ideal way for the 60-day challenge. If you remember, we all signed up for 60 days challenge. 60 days challenge. So actually speaking, so what is expected is this. Okay. Now the expectation from you guys. May have to not started anything since last. Okay, no problem, Krish. We'll just discuss that. Absolutely, no problem. So this is a good starting point for you. Okay, super. Sure. So let's say, imagine you join on 1st of Jan. Imagine this scenario. Okay. 1st of Jan, you attended the yellow belt session, you loved it, you immediately subscribe for the green belt, black belt 60-day challenge, and here your journey starts. Okay. Now we will divide 60 into 30-30. Okay. So the first 30 days you should go through this course content of the green belt. You get the LMS access immediately on the same day itself. You get the WhatsApp communication from our team that congratulations, you have been you have been successfully enrolled, and this is your login ID, password, and this is how you should go ahead. And green belt number 1 is something which you should be starting with. So this is your starting point, and by the end of the month, let's say this is 31st of Jan, or I would like 1st of Feb. Okay. At this point in time, you will get to the green belt hackathon. Now, what is green belt hackathon? Here you will get. So now, during these days, every week you have 2 live sessions, Saturday and Monday. So on one side, you have a recorded course already, loaded on your LMS. Plus you have live sessions, almost 8 to 10 live sessions you attend during the day, which is live sessions. Okay. Plus you have the mentor support at the the mentor WhatsApp number, WhatsApp support. So by using these resources, your LMS, your live sessions, and your mentor WhatsApp support, you complete your 30 days challenge of green belt. Now you are into green belt hackathon. Like now what we are into green belt hackathon. This is a kind of a fast track revision. This is a fast track revision for you. You can absolutely, yes, the recording will be available and it will be kept as a separate folder called green belt hackathon. Okay, in your LMS, we have given you the folder access of green belt hackathon. All right, you can check out that. Now, once you go for green belt hackathon, then you appear for the examination. So this is the ideal scenario. Then after green belt examination, you start with your, so this is your GB journey. and after that will start your black belt journey. Again, in that month also there will be 8 to 10 live sessions. All right, and then you have support of the mentor, and by the 1st of March you will get a black belt hackathon followed by the exam. So that's the ideal roadmap for the 60-day challenge. So you take the admission, go through the course content, solve the query with the mentor, ask the mentor the question, take the notes of this, attend the hackathon and give the exam. This is the ideal situation. If it is not matching with your schedule, hackathon recording is also available. In the course content also, hackathon recording is available. You can go through recording anytime. Once you complete the course, somebody would like to fast track the course. Let's say I want to finish the course in 15 days. That's also possible. You finish the course in 15 days, go through the recording of the hackathon and send the message to the mentor number that I want to appear for the examination, and examination can happen absolutely individually. There is no batch examinations. Of course, after hackathon, you can give a batch examination where a lot of people attend at the same time. But that does not mean you have to attend during that time only. Every day, 30 days in a month, 365 days in a year, you can attend. You can attend the examination in the midnight as well. There is no absolutely complete flexibility of the examination timing. All right. So this has been created. This entire ecosystem has been created considering your busy working schedule. I hope, are you clear with this 60-day challenge and what is the role of hackathon? Hackathon is nothing but quick fast track revision of the entire course. Is it clear with you? Just give me yes in the chat box. And you can start anytime. You've taken admission 1 month ago, 2 months ago, you haven't started yet. Now is the best time to start. Okay, when you should start? Now. Okay. All right, take a screenshot if you wish. This is the roadmap of the 60 days challenge, and let me share my screen with you. This is also being recorded and can be referred in the future as well. Okay, here we go. So let me quickly share my screen with you, and this is nothing but your green belt content. The downloadable PDFs are available in your course content itself. So I have not taken anything else. Only thing is that I have just put this hackathon word. That's it. Okay. Now, so Lean Six Sigma. Let's start the hackathon, which is a quick revision. So today we will cover define phase and some part of measure phase. Tomorrow we'll have the Minitab exercises. Tomorrow completely we'll do the Minitab exercises. And we'll try to cover the remaining measure phase and analyze phase. And on the day 3, we'll complete improve and control phase, and I'll give you the update of the examination. Generally, it goes up to 9:30. Okay, it will go up to 9:30. All right. Now, when I say Lean Six Sigma, everybody knows Lean and Six Sigma both are two different distinct methodologies which have originated, one from Toyota, other from Motorola. Lean from Toyota Japan, Six Sigma from Motorola US. So Lean basically focuses on removing waste, increasing the speed, and Six Sigma basically reduces variation, improves the quality. Okay, and we have learned this in the yellow belt level as well, right? Now there are 5 levels if you remember: white belt, yellow belt, green belt, black belt, master black belt. Already we have covered up to yellow belt level, and most of you have taken admission into green belt, black belt. Some of you have already taken admission to the master black belt as well. Okay, so let's quickly touch upon some of the main things which are covered in the green belt defined phase level. Okay, so let's start with the strategic forces of the Michael Porter. Okay, now this was explained. Yes, now how many of you were present on Monday live session? Just type me in the chat box. Were you present in the Monday live session, which was change management Jack Welch way? How many of you were present there? Just type me in the chat box. Okay, yeah, quite a lot of people were present. Huh? Very good, very good, very good, super. So in that session also I had covered this this slide. Let me quickly cover that once again. Imagine your organization is like a hexagon. Okay, Uh, yeah, the chat has been into host and panelists, so that's the reason you are not able to see the chat. Okay, it doesn't matter. You know, yeah. Okay, so imagine your organization as hexagon, and organization always make the strategy. Strategy meaning the path to achieve the objective of the organization. Okay, this is called strategy. Now, strategic forces meaning the force which can change the strategy of the organization. It's called strategic forces, and there are few important forces Michael Porter has mentioned in this, and one of the biggest forces is customer. Customer or the market requirement. Okay, if the market requirement changes, obviously the strategy of the organization changes. That's very, very important. Okay, if market requires certain thing, for example Nokia, when market required the smartphone, Nokia was making the the basic phones, right? So this was the strategic force which can change the strategy of the organization. Then current competition. What current competition is doing, I always give the example of this Domino Pizza. If Domino Pizza is giving the product in 30 minutes or free, if you are a Pizza Hut, you cannot say I will not give 30 minutes, I will take 40 minutes, I will take 45 minutes. Obviously market will shift towards the Domino Pizza. So it is very important to make sure the current competition also is in check. Potential competition. Potential is not there in the horizon right now, but they are just willing to come in the market. For example, when we were consulting National Stock Exchange, MCXSX was one of the platform, trading platform which was about to enter. Okay, and that was the potential competition. Even though the National Stock Exchange was number one as far as the size is concerned, the trading volume is concerned, still they took this very seriously. They made certain strategic changes in their policies, processes, framework, etc. Just to make sure we are competitive enough. We cannot become complacent and and think like what can they do. We are the giants. Okay, so this is the biggest mistake a lot of companies make, but this is also very important to make sure that potential competitors are also looked at very seriously. Government policy is also one of the very important factor, like demonetization and GSTs and the tariffs from US and the counter attacks from the India, etc., etc. These are all policies made nationally, internationally, has the impact on the strategy of the organization. Then the complementers, meaning the businesses who are complementing to our businesses. Like for example, the steel industry is complementing to what you can say, the automotive industry, and vice versa. The lending industry is complementing to the real estate industry. So more the real estate, more will be the lenders like bankers and NBFCs, etc. So these are complementers basically. And then the substitute meaning the technology which can substitute your product or service. For example, as I gave you yesterday or day before, that the typewriter substituted by desktop substituted by laptop substituted by the tabs substituted by the mobile phones, etc., etc. Okay, so this is called a substitution. So actually what we do majority of the time, lot of us, okay, because the day before I asked the questions that how much time do you spend on innovation, and a lot of people very genuinely, very, very authentically said 0 to 10%, not more than that. Okay, because most of the time we spend on maintaining the old product and services, okay, the current product and service, I would say, and very less amount of time, focus, energy, emphasis is given on improvement in quality, delivery, costs. QCDS basically, quality, cost, delivery and service, right? And that's where basically our Lean Six Sigma comes into picture. Okay, because of lot of changes happening outside, you cannot only focus on the current status quo of the product and services. You have to improve them. Okay, and this is where Lean Six Sigma has a very important role to play. Okay, How many of you remember Jack Welch's statement? Just type me in the chat box. How many of you remember? Let me see. How many of you remember that? Okay, yeah, quite a few people remember Jack Welch's statement. For the people who are not aware of what I'm talking about is, please go to Masterclass Archive and check the recording of Monday session. The session was Change Management Jack Welch Way. Jack Welch was ex-CEO of General Electric, okay? It was basically, no, it is not. Pilo Nalgo is not it is the statement of the hypothesis testing. But what Jack Welch's statement was, if the rate of external changes which are happening outside, from outside, the rate of external changes from these strategic forces basically, if the rate of external changes is greater than the rate of internal changes, the end is near. Okay, the end of the organization is near. That means, see, external changes meaning all this ecosystem, external ecosystem, which is exerting the pressure on the organization for the change. Okay, but we are also internally doing certain things, right? We are also doing some improvements, etc., etc. But the rate at which we are doing it, it should always exceeding the rate of change from the external requirement. Okay, if we can maintain that pace, then only we can survive and thrive in this entire competitive environment. Otherwise, the end is near. That's what Jack Welch said. Okay, so this is called strategic force. Are you clear with this? Just give me yes in the chat box. The holistic way, what is the main objective of Lean Six Sigma? Why we should change? Why we should improve our quality, cost, delivery, and service? Just give me a quick confirmation yes in the chat box. Very good, superb, superb. Keep on typing, can give me the confirmation, okay? Yeah. Now, in the define phase, basically, which starts with the identification of the project, then voice of customer CTQ, which is nothing but, so these are some of the topics we'll be covering today. Project identification, the vocabulary of Six Sigma, SIPOC, project charter, now see, things like project charter, etc., very simple to understand. We have already covered in the yellow belt as well. So I will not spend more time on this, but I'll spend more time on the remaining part of it, okay? Let's talk about the project selection sources. Now, first of all, the first point is that who identifies the projects? That's the main question. How many of you know the answer of this? Who identifies, whose objective, whose responsibility, whose accountability is to identify the projects? Type in the chat box if you are aware of it. Is it yellow belt or green belt? Because we are into the green belt hackathon. So is it the objective or is it the responsibility of a green belt? Give me yes, no in the chat box quickly. Anybody? Yeah, so okay, black belt, okay, organization head, okay, very good. So let me give you the answer. The object or the responsibility of identifying the project, okay, lies with, write this down, master black belt along with the top management of the organization. Okay, so it's not yellow belt, not green belt, not even black belt, but the master black belt along with the top management. If master black belt is not available, then the same role can be done by the black belt also in some cases. Okay, so whenever we go for the consulting, this role basically we shoulder this responsibility, okay, to identify. So we do something called as a diagnostic study, okay. So in our consulting launch program, we deeply cover what is diagnostic study and what is the how you should do this, what are the frameworks which are used, etc. So this is in greatly detailed we have covered. Okay, now here in master black, even master black belt course also this has been covered very greatly. Now coming back to let's talk about main sources. First is called strategy. Okay, so even though it is not the objective of green belt, just let's briefly cover these topics so that we can, at least we should aware about these topics. Okay, strategy we just have discussed. Okay, wherever you find the gap between strategy, let's say the potential the competitor has what you can say, pizza delivery has decided to go for 30 minutes, and you are the Pizza Hut, and Domino's has decided for 30 minutes, right? So now your strategy is to make it into 25 minutes or 20 minutes, let's say. So to reduce the lead time, order to delivery lead time from 30 minutes to 20 minutes, that is the project coming from the strategy. Are you understanding? Then comes the SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis meaning strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. This is one of the what you can say, boardroom level strategy tool, which is done in some organization every year, before the financial year starts, or every once in 3 years, this SWOT analysis is done. Okay. Now in this analysis, strength and weaknesses are basically the internal factors. Opportunities and threats are the external factors. Some of them are internal, some of them are external factors. And so they list down the points. What are the strengths of the organizations right now? What are the weaknesses of the organization right now? What opportunities do we have? Example, let me give you example. Strength meaning, let's say we are one of the pioneers of the product, or we have our brand image is very good, or for example, our experience of our employees is very good, it's a positive for us. So all these things basically are the strengths. Weaknesses meaning maybe technologically we are not very upgraded, okay, so we are using the old technology, that can be the weakness. Or our processes, the variation of the processes are very high, that can be our weaknesses. Or the machine downtime is very high, attrition we have, that is our weakness. So these are called strength and weaknesses. So every strength, if you want to even make it better, you can identify the project. Weakness, if you want to bridge the gap of the weakness, that can, you can identify the projects. Then opportunity, threats also. Opportunities meaning, let's say you want to expand into geographically outside of India, that's the opportunity. Now let's say your Middle East market you want to cater, African market you want to cater, or Southeast Asian nations you want to cater. So this way you can expand, and these are the opportunities. So you list down the opportunities, and wherever you want, you see the gaps where you have to fill up, there you can do the projects. As well as threats. Threats meaning the external competition. If you go outside, then what are the other competitions? So there also you can identify the gaps and find out the projects. Okay, so I've just briefly explained this. Then the low performance KPIs. KPIs meaning key performance indicators. Okay, key performance indicators. Key performance indicators are. I hope everybody knows key performance indicator, right? So every process, every process has a key performance indicators set, and if that process is not hitting the KPIs properly, that's a perfect recipe for the project. Okay, can you give me your 1 or 2 key performance indicators right now? Type in the chat box. Give me 1 or 2 KPIs of your own process. Very good, very nice, fantastic. So process target, absolutely right. Departmental quality indicators, yes. MTTR, yield and PPM, downtime, reduction of rejection, turnaround time of the OP patients, very nice. Operation patients, yes. Rejection rate, customer complaint, session counts, COPQ, cost of poor quality, complaints, yes. AHT adherence, average handling time, cost savings, absolutely right. So these are all KPIs, okay. And wherever the KPIs are not hitting the target, these are the best ways of finding out the project. What you can say, the can you have the here? Okay. Then we have the customer complaints. Wherever you are getting maximum customer complaints, you can do a what you can say, Pareto of this. Prioritize the customer complaint and start doing the projects around them. Then any cost reduction initiative. This is something close to the heart of the management. Okay. Anywhere you are reducing the cost, that will be really appreciated by the management. So anything where cost reduction opportunities are there, you should do the projects about it. And then quality issues. Okay. Internal, external quality issues wherever you are facing. So these are some of the project selection sources from where you can easily identify the projects. Okay. And you know what? Wherever we do the consulting assignments, one of the factor which we prioritize is the financial impact of the project. Okay. Some of the projects give very nice financial impact, very good, very strong financial impact. Those projects we basically prioritize and select, because then the client also get return on investment faster and see the impact very easily. That's the best part of Lean Six Sigma implementation. Okay. Because you can easily, immediately, whatever investment the client is making, you can show the return on investment, immediately in that particular phase or wave as well. Okay. Everybody clear till now? Just give me yes in the chat box. Project selection sources are clear. Just give me quick yes. Very good. Superb. Superb. Now, while selecting the project, there are few things which we have to keep in mind, are like this. Okay. Project should be meaningful and manageable. When I say meaningful, it should be meaningful either to the customer or to the business. The meaningful to the customers are basically VOC related projects which are driven externally. Meaning, for example, let's say customer complaint reduction. That's a customer driven project, customer related project. Okay. And there are few project business related which are called voice of business. VOC stands for voice of customer. VOB stands for voice of business, which are purely internal project. Example, your attrition is purely internal project. It has got nothing to do with the customer. Your machine downtime, okay, MTTR, MTBF, it has got nothing to do with the customer. Customer wants the products, services, deliveries on time, in full, with highest amount of quality. This is what customer needs. Customer does not get interference, do interference in the internal affairs of the organization. But it should be either voice of customer or it should be voice of business. Meaningful to either customer or to the business. If it is not meaningful to either of them, then it is not a project. Okay. Then the second point is it should be manageable. What is manageable? Manageable meaning the root causes of your project should be within the control of the organization. Root causes of the projects, meaning the problem, should be within the control. Within the control meaning you should be able to take some action over it. That means within the control of the organization. Okay. And they should not be too big or too small to handle. Too big meaning, for example, you have I always call this example like World Hunger Project. Puri world ki hunger mita dunga. Those wala projects. Okay. It should not be too big, too complex in the green belt level especially. And should not be too small, you just, what you can say, set a sensor and the problem is solved. Or you made a very small adjustment and, some kind of a small Kaizen, Pokayoke projects. Those projects also should not be selected. You should have what you can say, a balance of complex as well as not too complex. Not too complex and not too easy project. Okay. सर पे नहीं लेना चाहिए. Yes, exactly. Very good, very good. Okay. So these are some of the points plus some of the project selection metrics you have to basically remember. That if I have to give the preference like importance on this y-axis and urgency on this x-axis. Now this is very important. You have to select a project which is of course important. So not important you have to reject. If it is not important for the customer, for the business, it has to be rejected. It has to be important first of all, and between urgency and not urgency, you should select moderately urgent project. I would say you should never select project something here. Why? Because What is super urgent projects? Super urgent projects meaning already customer there on the doorstep. There is a complaint and customer wants the resolution. And now management is asking you to resolve this problem within next 7 days or 10 days. That is called a super urgent project. Those also should be avoided because in the DMAC framework, basically it requires data collection, identification of the causes, root causes, then the solution identification, hypothesis, regression. There's so much of work, solution implementation. Okay, it takes time, and majority of us, basically working professionals, are doing Lean Six Sigma projects on the part-time basis. What is part-time basis? We are not full-timers. We are not full-time doing projects. We need to remember this. Okay. So management, while hiring us, they will take you. That means, let's say you are a production manager, you are doing a production management plus Lean Six Sigma. You are a HR manager, you are doing HR plus Lean Six Sigma. Understand this? So you are kind of a part-timer. Are you understanding? You are not a specialist Lean Six Sigma. You are not a master black belt and only focusing on Lean Six Sigma in organization. That's the reason. And all the other team members also, they are also having limited time, limited resources. By considering that, there is a huge risk of compromising the quality of the project. That's why super urgent should be avoided. It should be having moderately urgent projects should be selected. Are you clear with this? Just give me a quick yes in the chat box. Yeah, that's the firefighting mode. Okay, so you should basically, avoid this. Okay, and the same thing what I just mentioned, the importance, less important projects should be eliminated and moderately difficult. So this is the difficulty. Okay, not too complex and not too easy. Moderately difficult projects should be selected as a Lean Six Sigma project. Okay. Now let's talk about some of the vocabulary of the Lean Six Sigma and through which how you identify a project. Okay, let me give you a simple example of starting with voice of customer. Okay, let's say you go to a restaurant and with the family and you order food, the food is delivered, but somehow you don't like the way the service was. Okay, the taste, etc., etc. So you didn't like the service, and there is a feedback register. You're put in the at the outdoor where where you go out. There is a register for the feedback. Now you go there, you take a pen and write down the feedback that I'm not happy. Not happy with your service. Example. Now, this is a very vague statement. The voice of customer can be collected from customer complaints, feedbacks, the focus groups, through emails, through calls, through CSAT scores. There are a lot of ways we can collect the data. What is voice of customer? The data which basically gives us the information about the customer, about a customer requirement. That is called voice of customer. Even specification limits are voice of customers. Generally, they are the vague statements like I'm not happy with your service. The moment, let's say restaurant, let's imagine you are a restaurant owner and this is the feedback. Now tell me what are the factors which are critical for the satisfaction of the customer. Type in the chat box. What will be satisfying factors or dissatisfying factor for the customer? Type in the chat box. What are the key factors in the restaurant? Type in the chat box. Everybody. On time delivery. Very good. So I will write turnaround time. Then the test. Very nice. Then the price. Very good. Then I would say the hygiene as well. Correct. Ambience. Very nice. Then quantity, etc. Very good. So these are the factors which are quantifiable, factors which are critical to the quality. They are called CTQs. From the voice of customer, we identify what are the critical to quality attribute. Now for your product and service, give me 1 or 2 CTQs right now in the chat. For your product and service. Now we have given for the restaurant, right? For your product and service, give me the 1 or 2 CTQs which we use. Okay, SLA, very nice. Airbag leak, okay. Then waiting time on IVR, very nice. OEE, overall equipment effectiveness. Heavy flow tire, okay. Buckle on tire. AHT, average handling time. Change implementation and desired outcome, okay, superb. So these are the critical to quality attributes of your product and service. Product cost, very nice, superb, superb. So these are some of the critical to quality attributes which are impacting. Now for every attribute, customer generally gives the specification. For example, delivery time should be between 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, and this is called as voice of design or a specification limit. So lower specification limit is 5 minutes and upper specification USL is 10 minutes. And my target here will be 7.5 minutes. I'm just giving you example of turnaround time. The moment I give the order, within 10 minutes I should receive. Maximum is 10 minutes or 15 minutes maximum. This is, I'm just giving you very raw example, okay. Now if the restaurant delivers after 10 minutes, that is called as a defect. If the pizza of Domino Pizza is delivered after 30 minutes, that is called a defect, right? Even in our organization also, every product, if it is not matching with the specification, it is defective product. That is called a defect. Correct? Now, in every, every product or a service, there can be multiple defect opportunities. Example, let me give you an example. Okay. Even let's take the same example. No? The same restaurant, when the food will be ordered, it can be the turnaround time defect. It will be delayed, late. The taste can be poor, that is also a defect opportunity. So I'm talking about these opportunities. In one product, let's say the food in the plate, that is a product. In that product itself, the turnaround time defect can come, the taste defect can come, the hygiene defect can come. There are so many defects which can come in that. Those are called defect opportunities. Even one defect comes, that makes that entire product defective. You are making, let's say shirt. If this is the shirt which you are making, let's say, let me draw. Okay, this is the shirt which you are making, and okay, so in that shirt, let's say a stain can be one of the defect opportunity. Missing button can be another defect opportunity, or the stitching error. Okay, the stitching is not proper, can be another defect opportunity. So in one product, there could be multiple defect opportunities. Clear? Even one defect comes, that makes the entire product defective. All right. Then voice of process is nothing but whatever data we collect from the process. Okay, production data, sales data, AHT data, attrition data, whatever data we collect from the process is called voice of process. And from this entire journey, for example, let's say, imagine I'm not happy with the with your service. Then we identify the let's say critical to quality attributes, turnaround time, taste, etc. Now we found that the turnaround time, the delivery time, turnaround time is nothing but a delivery time. If the delivery time average is 12 minutes, or let's say 15 minutes. So reducing my delivery time from 15 minutes to 7.5 minutes is basically nothing but my project. Are you clear? So this is called a project. Defect versus defect. Let me explain you once again. Okay. Now this is called as a product. This shirt is a product. Alright. Now in this product, there are, let's say, 3 defect opportunities. One is button missing, so I'm just writing button here, then the stitch problem, the stitching problem, and then let's say a stain problem. So in this product, there could be three different, what you can say, defect opportunities. In the plate, the food plate, it could be the turnaround time, it could be the taste, it could be the price, it could be hygiene. There are the 4 defect opportunities in the plate, right? Now, either of these, either on the shirt or the plate, you get even one defect comes that makes this product defective. Let's say button is missing, nobody will purchase this product, right? If you go to a fantastic, a showroom, and you purchase a shirt and you see a button is not there, you will never purchase that shirt. Okay, so this is called a defective product. So defect meaning within one product there are multiple defects which can come. That is called defects. And defective meaning that entire product, entire unit. Are you clear, Kiranji? Very good. And this entire thing is called as vocabulary, Six Sigma vocabulary. From the voice of customer, we identify a project. Okay, and these are called external way of identifying the project. Right from the customer's voice, we are identifying the project of project Y. That is called as a externally identification of the project. Everybody with me? Just give me yes in the chat box. Superb, superb, superb. Very good. Try to connect with your own example. Okay. Now in your curriculum, we have given all the explanation with a lot of examples. You can see that. Okay. Now, once you collect the voice of customer, there is a very important model called Kano model, which is very important for us to understand and appreciate. What is Kano model? Professor Noriaki Kano from Japan, one of the very important figure in Japanese quality revolution, I would say. According to him, once you collect the data, you put that voice of customer. Once you collect the voice of customer, put that voice of customer into 3 buckets. First is the basic feature, then the performance feature, and the delighter feature. Let me explain you one by one. Let's say this is a pen, this is a writing pen, or the the whiteboard marker. Imagine it's a whiteboard marker. What is the basic expectation from this whiteboard marker? Type in the chat box, everybody. What is the basic expectation from the whiteboard marker? Type in the chat box. Very simple, very common logic, simple. Very good. It should write smoothly on the board. Very simple, basic, common. If you are purchasing a car or a bike, it should run. Once you apply the brake, it should stop. Basic requirement. Correct? These are called basic feature. Fundamental feature. Functionality feature, I would say. Are you clear? Yes? Very basic. Now, so once you collect the voice of customer, then you have to put them. Okay, let's understand the 3 and then I will explain you. Then the next one is called performance feature. Imagine this pen generally writes for 1 month without running out of the ink. Performance meaning if company does some improvement in the process and now this pen is running for 2 months, that is called performance. Your car is giving 15 km per liter with some improvement, modification in the engine, transmission, etc. Now it has started giving 20 kilometers per liter. That is called performance feature. Alright. And then comes the delighter feature. Delighter meaning you are not expecting anything, but it is given by the company to the customer. Customer is not expecting this. It's kind of a wow feature. Wow. Wow feature meaning wow is something like, for example, when you saw first time Jurassic Park. If you remember, if you go to that, in the movie theater, the first time that big gigantic dinosaur when you saw, majority of you, kept your mouth wide open and said, wow, what is amazing. It was so real. And, it was animated, but it was so looking so real that a lot of people said, wow. Okay. Similarly, let's talk about the marker pen. What can be the delighter feature in a simple whiteboard marker? Type in the chat box. Okay. Single screen theater. Exactly. Nowadays, single screen theater are becoming history. Buy one, get one. Okay. That can be a delighter. Okay. Not drying after months. Okay. Not drying after months. Whiteboard marker. Okay. Not drying. The ink inside. Okay. But that's good. That's good. What else? What else? Multicolored. Okay. Non-toxic. Okay. 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 Fragrance during writing. Wow, that's amazing. Fragrance during writing. Superb. Keep any side upright. Okay, that's interesting. So both sides, you have the nips on both sides. So you can, write like this as well. Additional ink free. Fantastic. So these are called delighter features. Okay. Or, I can use fragrance. I can use, digital clock inside the, okay. A lot of things I can do. Now, understand this. From a pen, first is it should write. It's a basic feature. Performance feature is, let's say, it is writing for 1 month. Now it should write for 2 months. Delighter feature is like fragrance. Okay. Now, what Professor Cano say? This is very interesting. Whenever you have voice of customer, put them into these 3 buckets. Now for the restaurant, customer is talking about the test, the hygiene. This is a basic feature. Are you understanding? Then customer is asking for performance. Let's say, for example, that restaurant is taking only cash. That is the tradition of the restaurant. We only take cash. Now the performance feature is, now they have started taking the digital, currencies, the GPays and phone pays, UPI, etc., etc. That's a performance. Their performance is increasing. The delighter could be, what you can say, 1 plate ke upar 1 plate free. That could be the deal. Or discount in the bill, that you are a customer, loyal customer. You come every week. So we are giving you 20% discount today. That's a delighter feature. Are you understanding this? Okay. So what Professor Cano say, this is very interesting. When you collect the voice of customer and you put them into these 3 buckets, do the project. Still we are discussing about the project identification. Okay. Do the projects on the basic feature first. That's your first priority. Once all your basic features are taken care of, then you put focus on the performance feature. And later on, you can discuss, you can think of adding something new into your product. So whenever you are doing the projects, improvement projects, first improve the basic features, then the performance features, and then the delighter. This is the sequence. Do not touch the delighter feature when your basic features are not functioning. Are you understanding this? Very simple but very powerful priority. Just give me yes in the chat box. So always, wherever there is a gap of the basic functionality, basic feature, arrest that gap, bridge that gap by doing the projects of the basic feature first. If you are selling cars, do not work on the aesthetics of the car when your car engine is not working fine, when your brake system is not working fine. That's a basic feature. Are you clear with this? Just give me yes in the chat. This is called Cano model. Very powerful tool of prioritizing your product features. Superb. So it has been explained by these various examples in your, so you can go through that. Okay. Yes, easy to learn. Very good. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now, these are the external ways of identifying the project. Let's talk about the internal ways of identifying the projects. Okay, what are the internal ways? First, what you do? You first map the the process 1, process 2, process 3, process 4, process 5, etc. in a sequence, in a process map. And then you find out what is the yield of each and every process. Okay. Now, this is just an example given. Just try to understand this. Okay. Internal projects also, wherever you have a, let's say, attrition problem, those are the projects we can select. Downtime, machine downtime, you can select the project. AHT, average call handling time, that project you can select. So internally also you can select a lot of projects. Okay. One of the way is this. Let's say there are 5 processes: surface preparation, coating, lead coating, and primer, and painting. Okay. Let's say surface preparation has a yield of 97% or 0.97. What does it mean? If I put 100 units in the input, I will get 97 units on the output without any defect, which is called first time right, or it is also called as first pass yield, FPY, first pass yield. You can see here, first pass yield or first time right is the same thing. Without doing any what you can say, any repairing, any rework, any defects, any rejection, you are getting 97 units perfect first time right. That is called 97% yield. Then pre-coating has 94% yield, which is 0.94. That means if I put 100 pieces, I will get 94 pieces without any defect. Okay. Here 93%, here again 93%, and for the painting the yield is 60%. So it is clearly indicative that the painting has the lowest amount of yield. Okay. And there is something called rolled throughput yield. You can see at the bottom. Rolled throughput yield is the total yield of the system. What is total yield of the system? If I put 100 pieces here, without any rejection and a defect, I will get 47%, that is 47 pieces after painting. Okay. How do I calculate this? Which is simple: 97% multiplied by 94%, multiplied by 93%, multiplied by 93%, multiplied by 60%. If I do the multiplication, it is approximately 47% I will get as the output. That means if I put 100% from here, I will get 47% without any rejection rework in between. And this is called first pass yield or rolled throughput yield. Are you clear with this? Just give me yes in the chat box. Have you understood the scenario? Very good. Now, which has got the lowest yield here? Which process has the lowest yield? P1, P2, P3, which one? Very simple. Which is the last process, which is the P5 process of painting, correct? Now it has got 60%. So what we'll do, we have to focus on the last process, and we have to collect the data. Why the yield is low? That means we are putting 100 pieces, we are only getting 60 pieces out, and there are 40% defect. So we'll collect the data of the defect and we'll do Pareto analysis of it. Okay. So tomorrow basically we'll do all the Minitab exercises on Pareto. A lot of things we are going to do: hypothesis, regression, and histogram, box plots. Okay, everything we'll do tomorrow. So this is 80-20 Pareto. Everybody knows Pareto. Just give me yes in the chat box. Even in yellow belt also we cover Pareto. It is just prioritizing our defect, rejection, all the data, right? So here you just identify what are the maximum frequency occurring defects, identify those defects, and those become your projects. And this is how you internally identify the projects as well. Okay? Clear? Just give me yes in the chat box. Is it clear? So externally from voice of customer and internally also you can identify the projects. Okay? Super. This is the Pareto chart. So tomorrow we'll do this Pareto analysis so that you will understand it even greater details. Okay. Very good. Super. Now, let's talk about a very important tool, and that is called as something called SIPOC. Okay. Let me go to Um, yeah, let me go to the whiteboard and let's talk about SIPOC. Once you define a project, you make a project charter. Now everybody's aware of project charter, problem statement, goal statement, team, etc., etc. Remember, we have the template, etc., right? So I'm not covering project charter once again here. Okay. Yes. So I'm just covering something called SIPOC. SIPOC. Okay. SIPOC is, once the project charter is done, then you have to do this thing called SIPOC. So what is SIPOC? Supplier input, process, output, and customer. So if I take the short form of this, SIPOC. Now everybody knows input, process, output, right? This is something which everybody knows. For every process, there is an input, there is an output. That input comes from the supplier and the output goes to a customer. And that's what this entire chain is made. So you can remember this. Supplier input, then the process, then the output, which goes to customer. So supplier gives the input, input goes in the process, delivers the output, and output is delivered to the customer. So this entire SIPOC is a broad level process map which we make, whichever project we have selected. Okay, let's say for example, if we selected the project in the painting department, so this entire painting department process flow we will write over here. Are you understanding? So whichever function, whichever process the project is decided, that for a restaurant, this entire restaurant process, for example, right from the customer arrival till the time customer is out of the restaurant, this entire process I will map in the SIPOC. Okay. Right now, for a simplicity, let's map the process of making the cup of tea. Imagine our project is to improve the taste of the tea. Okay, if that is the project. So the first step of this is to write down all the process steps. Okay. So we will first write the process steps. So I will write boil the water. I'm just writing very brief process steps here. By the way, let me give a disclaimer. I am a very bad at making the cup of tea. Okay. So you can please correct me if any process is different. Okay. Then once the water is boiled, then I will add the ingredients, all the ingredients put together. Okay. Meaning my milk and my tea powder and ginger and sugar, etc., etc., etc. Of course, there is a particular sequence at which you have to do. Okay, but for just our understanding, boil the water, put the ingredients, and then let's talk about after that what else is filter and serve. Let's say, for example. Okay, that's it. Filter and serve. Let's say these are the three main processes basically. Now, what are the inputs of boiling the water? Let me give you one of the input is the kettle basically, right? So kettle is one of the input, and then the gas is one of the input, then the lighter is one of the input, right? And after that water is the input, right? Then who supplies this? Who is the supplier of this? So vendor of gas. So every input has got so we are just talking about the first step here. Okay, I'm just talking about the first step here. So what I've done, first I've just listed down all the process steps. Now I'm going to process step number 1. What are the inputs for step number 1? So I'm writing all the steps. So kettle by the vendor, gas by the gas company. Let's say in Mumbai we have Mahanagar Gas and companies like this. Lighter again from the vendor, and water from the maybe municipal corporation. So I will write, let's say BMC. Okay. Now boil the water. So what is the output? Let's say output is boiled water is the output. Okay. Now the customer, who is the customer? Now here, right now imagine you are the vendor, tea stall vendor. Okay. So right now this boiled water is not served to the customer, to the end customer. So right now this is a tea vendor only as an internal customer. Right now there is only one tea vendor and he's making the tea and he's serving the tea to the customer. Okay. Then comes add ingredients. Let's talk about this. Now here all the ingredients will come. What are the ingredients? As you rightly mentioned, there will be sugar, there will be milk, right? There will be tea powder, very nice. There will be, what else? What else? Type in the chat box. Ginger. Water already is boiled, right? What else? And then respective vendors of each and every. So sugar vendor is different, milk vendor is different, tea powder vendor is different. So add ingredients. So ingredients added. Okay, again, it is not yet served to the customer. So the customer, immediate customer will be internal customer, who is a tea stall vendor. Okay. Then filter and serve, you have inputs like the filter, which is the, what is that called as? And you have the cup to serve, right? Again, the respective vendors will be the suppliers of it. So filter and serve. So hot cup of tea served, right? And now this will be served to the end customer or the consumer, I would say. And this entire process is called as SIPOC. Now try to understand this. Okay. Try to understand this. What is the objective of doing this? First of all, it defines the boundary of our project. Let's say if I want to improve the taste of the tea, this is the only process I have to focus. I don't have to add anything else after this. Okay. At the most, in the input, I will add the skill or the experience of the tea vendor. That is also important skill, important input here, which can make impact on my test. Are you understanding? Yes. So this process steps is so the boundary of the project is defined here. First objective is the boundary. Second objective is you can find out all the inputs which are impacting your test. Okay. Everybody remembers the equation y is equal to function of x? Just give me yes in the chat box. Everybody remembers this equation or knows this equation where y is output and x is the input, which says the output is depending on the input. Correct? Now here in the input column, you can find out all the critical inputs which are required for the project, which we will identify in the analyze phase subsequently, are already listed here. If you do the SIPOC properly, you will get maximum inputs listed here. Clear? First, along with that, there is something called stakeholder. Okay, after this I will cover the stakeholder analysis. Stakeholder meaning the functions, the departments, the people who are impacting or getting impacted because of the project, because of the problem in hand. In this case, who is impacting and impacted? Basically, first of all, the tea vendor is very critical stakeholder, the customers are very critical stakeholders, and the vendors who are the suppliers of all these inputs are very critical stakeholders. And if you focus here in the supplier column and in the customer column, you get all the stakeholders listed properly. So during the project, what is expected is you select some representatives of all the stakeholders. Some stakeholders from the supplier end, some stakeholders from the customer end, etc. Internal and external customers both. So that you get perspective from all the side and you can identify the holistic solutions for the problem. So this is what the SIPOC is all about. Are you clear with this? Just give me yes in the chat box. So this is a homework for you guys. You can make SIPOC for your own process. Okay, how many of you can do this? Just type me in the chat box. See, if you can do it for your own process, that means you have understood it. Okay. If possible, you can share it on the the mentor number which I think everybody must be having. Okay, this is your mentor's WhatsApp number. You can just share once you have made this SIPOC for your own process. Take a screenshot of it, or you can share that. Okay. Thank you very much, Sandeep ji. Thank you very much. Okay, let me now talk about stakeholder analysis. Okay, now we do the project. So these are some SIPOC examples given in your curriculum. You can just refer that. Project charter example also given. So template of project charter also given. Let's talk about a stakeholder analysis. Okay. What is stakeholder analysis? Stakeholder analysis, as I said, the people who are impacting or impacted because of the project are stakeholders. Now you have to take representatives. Now, a lot of times you would have experienced this scenario where whenever we start something, enthusiasm is at the high, at the very peak. Or maybe in front of top management, the enthusiasm of the team members are very high. The moment the rubber hit the road, the reality is, comes forward. Then people who are once upon a time very much enthusiastic earlier stop giving the support to the project. Okay. Now, what happens is, example, I'll give you example. Let's say you start Lean Six Sigma project, and in the opening meeting, imagine your CEO is there. CEO gives a speech. Okay, that we have to do this project, very important project. Customer complaints are very high, so you have to reduce them. This is very important project for our customer point of view, the brand image point of view, etc., etc. And then he motivates the team member. Team members say, yes, sir, we are with you, and we will do the project. We'll support the project leader, and we'll support from our capacity, the highest capacity. So enthusiasm is at the best. Okay. Then as a project leader, then you concluding remark, you said that let's start collecting the data about it. Okay. And by end of the week, I'm expecting data from each and every department. Okay, that's how the meeting concludes. Then after one week, you find that nobody has given the data. Okay, then you call up one by one, and then people say, oh, I just forgot. Oh, I was just not well. Oh, I was just I was just stuck in this downtime. I was just I was out for a customer visit, etc., etc. A lot of excuses started to emerge. After that, you give them extended couple of days, again, out of which only 2-3 people respond, remaining you keep on driving. How many of you have seen such kind of scenario in your office or your experience in your past organizations? Just type yes in the chat box. Have you experienced this kind of scenario? That people on verbal commitments, but they are not fulfilling their commitments, or the enthusiasm is not reflecting in the action. So many times, isn't it? Okay, very good, very good. This is industry standard, huh? Okay, I can see the pain from the language. Okay, okay. Now understand this. It is very tricky, na? It's very tricky to measure the commitment level of the people. Okay. Let's say Surya Kumar Yadav is the captain of Indian team. It's very difficult whether who is committed player and who is not fully committed player. Of course, we can make out, but how do you measure it? That's the biggest challenge. How do you measure it? In Six Sigma, in statistics, we say whatever you can measure, you can improve. But how do you measure commitment level? And this tool is amazing tool to do that. Look at this tool. Okay. Let's say imagine we have sales, management, employees, customer, supplier. These are the stakeholders of the project. And now what they have done is they have listed various commitments level. Now this is just a reference. You can change this according to your requirement. Okay. First is supporter. then the compliant, indifferent, uncooperative, opposed, hostile. Okay. Supporter meaning they are highly supportive of the project. They are doing. Now understand, supporter in meaning this commitment level is not on the basis of the verbal commitment. This is on the action commitment. Understand? This is the most important part of this. Verbally, everybody is committed. Just like our politicians before, before election and after election. Are you understanding? The commitments of investment, commitments of, whatever it is. So it's all verbal commitment. But what about action? How many commitments are brought into the action? That is the reality check. So this stakeholder analysis is done on the basis of the action of the people and not on the verbal commitment of the people. Okay. So here, supporter, they're highly supportive. Then compliant, they are not highly supportive, but whatever they are, they are being told, they are following that. That is compliant. Indifferent, it's kind of, they don't care about it. उनको कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता. It's called indifferent behavior. Okay. Uncooperative, self-explanatory. They're not cooperating. Opposing, they're not cooperating. They're even opposing the ideas. And hostile meaning they're aggressively opposing the ideas. So these are some of the commitments. Of course, you can change them according to. So ideally speaking, you want all of them should be at least supporters and compliants. So let's say sales department. R meaning the required level of commitment and P meaning the present level of commitment. So present is opposing and they want to be compliant here at least in the project. Now why are they opposing? This is a very important point here. If ideally, let's say ideally they should be compliant, but let's say imagine last 2 years the sales department is struggling with attrition. Last 2 years, sales department did not get any kind of increment. Last 2 years, there is hardly any, recruitment happening in the sales department. And over and above this, whoever are the remaining people in the sales department, over and above, they are given as Lean Six Sigma project to be completed. Will they be compliant and supportive? Obviously no, right? There could be some genuine concerns also. We need to understand, we need to learn, we need to listen. Okay. So stakeholder analysis does not mean only gauging the parameters, but understanding the deeper meaning of it, why they are not complying, why they are not supporting this entire initiative. And then through communication, through discussion, through escalation to the management, you have to basically slowly motivate them and take them to compliant and supporter level. This is how the stakeholder analysis is very important tool basically to measure the commitment level of the all the team members of the project. Are you clear? Just give me yes in the chat box. Very powerful tool. I have not seen a brilliant tool than this on gauging the commitment level of the people. Okay, and you can use see the power of Lean Six Sigma is this entire DMAC framework is you can use these tools separately as well. You can use SIPOC separately. You can use Pareto separately. You can use project charter separately. You can use hypothesis testing separately. Cause and effects. They're all Scamper separately. This is an amazing, garland of the flowers, and each tool is so much of power. Okay. We should run Six Sigma for our country and Union Cabinet and their salaries. Absolutely. So it will be done eventually. Okay. Eventually, over the next decade, lot of these government-related lethargies and in our bureaucracy, in our judiciary, lot of things will be taken care of with the help of these tools like Lean Six Sigma, AI, etc., etc., etc. A lot of things are going to be digitized. And made faster. Okay, that's for sure. And so our role is very, very crucial. All right. Anyways, let's move on to the next one because we have to cover some of the topics here. RACI metrics is one of the very important. RACI meaning RACI stands for responsible. It is a shade of the stakeholders basically. It is responsible, accountable, consulted, and informed. Now, responsible account. Now, all the stakeholders have various different roles to play. For example, let me give you an example over here. Responsible and accountable. Okay. Let's say there is a sales executive and a sales manager. In that, sales executive is responsible and manager is accountable. There is a worker on the machine who is producing this, who is responsible for the production, who is responsible for the quality, but the supervisor or the manager or the head of the department is accountable for this. Are you clear with the difference between responsibility and accountability? Just give me yes in the chat box. Clear everybody? Responsibility, accountability, very clear? Yes? So here we have to define who is responsible and who is accountable basically. So in the cricket match, batsmen are responsible to make runs, bowlers are responsible to take wickets, fielders are responsible to, save the runs on the ground. Alright? But ultimate accountability lies with the coach and the captain. That is accountability of the winning and the losing of the match, right? That's called accountability. Now let's talk about consulted and informed. Let me give you a scenario. Now in a project, now you have master black belt, you have the teams, okay, and there you are doing a project and you are stuck in regression analysis. Okay, you are doing a Minitab regression analysis and you are stuck. You don't know how to navigate through this. So who do you consult? Do you consult a master black belt or do you consult a CFO of the organization? Type in the chat box. Who do you consult? You consult a black belt or a master black belt, or you go to a CFO and ask the question of, sir, I'm stuck in the Minitab. Can you help me? Of course, the master black belt, right? Yes, very clear everybody. So who do you consult when in that case black belt or master black belt? Now, what is, let's take another scenario. Now you have identified the solutions, and one of the solution is automation, and for the automation you require some 10 lakh rupees investment. Now who do you consult? Do you go to master black belt or do you go to a CFO? Obviously you go to CFO, right? Very simple. So consulted meaning in what scenario you will consult to whom? That is what is consulted. And inform meaning in some cases you have to basically inform the team members, okay, about the progress, because everybody will not be a part of the project. So you have to inform the top management, you have to inform the process, other process people in the department, etc. during this entire journey, and this is called as informed. Okay, so in this entire stakeholder management, you have to define who is responsible, who is accountable, who has to be consulted, and who has to be informed, and this is called as RACI. RACI. Clear? And this example has been given over here. Are you clear with this? Just give me a quick yes in the chat box. Very good, very good. Along with that, there is something called as communication plan. Communication plan is nothing but how all the stakeholders will communicate with each other, during this entire project. Okay, through what you can say, toll gate reviews, etc. For example, let's say, there is something called ST. ST meaning steering committee. Steering committee meaning the group of top management people who are basically reviewing, sponsoring the project. Okay, so then CC meaning the corporate coordinator, meaning whenever we do the projects, okay, there is somebody who is one point contact. Okay, generally in ISO standards, ISO etc., there is somebody called MR, management representative. Okay, so he is one point contact between organization and the auditing body, right? So documentation etc etc is the accountability of the management representative. Similarly, a corporate coordinator has a similar kind of a role here. Okay, now for example, corporate coordinator and steering committee will communicate via email. So corporate coordinator will update the steering committee, top management regularly through their emails. Okay. Now, example, steering committee, again, it will be TG review, meaning toll gate review. After every phase, define, measure, analyze, improve, and control, there will be steering committee who will be reviewing the progress of the project. So that will come in the, so there will be WhatsApp communication, there will be a huddle meeting communication, there will be email communication, toll gate communication. So during the project duration of 1 month to 6 months, you have to basically communicate through all the stakeholders through different channels. How you will communicate, that is called as a communication plan. Okay, and this entire thing summarizes your define phase. All right. Yes. So what we will do right now, we will just take a quick break of 5 minutes, and we will be back by 8:30 sharp, and we'll start some part of major phase today. Are you clear till now? Just give me yes in the chat box. Okay, we'll just take a quick 5 minutes break, and we'll start our major phase later on. All right. Yes, I'll just keep very good, superb. Yes. Okay, you can just once you back, then you have to just type I am back on my seat. All right. Thank you very much. All right, so I hope you guys are back on your seat right now. Just type yes in the chat box so that we can start our major phase, which is very, very important phase of the Mac. So let me share my screen. Just give me the confirmation that you're back. Very good, very good. Superb, superb, superb. So here we go. We are talking about major phase. Okay. Now, what we have done till now is, first of all, we just got introduced to Lean Six Sigma. What is Lean? What is Six Sigma? How they work together? The strategic forces, and then what are the factors, okay, we should consider while selecting the Lean Six Sigma project. Basically, that is something which we have seen. And then we spoke about once we select the project, okay, there are various sources we have seen. How do we select the project? And internal and external. Then we discussed about the vocabulary of Lean Six Sigma, basically voice of customer, and voice of process, and the defect opportunities, and all those stuff, and project why. And then internally, what are the ways of identifying the project also we discussed, right? After that, we make project charter. We have not covered project charter because it has already been covered and we simple to understand. Then we have covered the SIPOC, which is the broad level process map. Whichever project we have identified, once it is done, then we do a SIPOC first. And then we discussed about the stakeholder analysis, which is, the stakeholders are the department, people, processes, which are impacting and getting impacted because of the project. That is called stakeholders. So we take the representatives in the projects as a team member. Okay. And then we have seen these RACI metrics and communication plan. That was the end of the define phase. Now we are moving towards the measure phase, right? Everybody's back. Just give me a quick confirmation. We have got confirmation of quite a few people, but I'm not sure everybody has confirmed. Okay. Anyway, we'll just slightly move forward. Okay. Now, the first rule of measure phase. So in define phase, we define the problem, the project. In the measure phase, we collect the data. Because, why do we collect the data? Because we can't improve what we don't measure. Very, very important statement. If you want to improve anything, start measuring that. Let's say you want to put your cholesterol levels in check. Start measuring your cholesterol level regularly. If you want to reduce your weight, start measuring your weight regularly. If you want to track the progress of your child, the academics, start tracking the percentage, the marks scored, etc., attendance, whatever, all the measures, So you want to have the control on the expenses of your monthly expenses of your household. Start tracking them, start measuring them. The moment you start measuring them, you will get the control, you will get a deeper understanding, and then only you can improve it. If you don't have any measurement system in place, you cannot improve it. Very simple. So the major phase's objective is to converting the real problem into a statistical problem by collecting the data, then analyzing the patterns and the trends of the data. So here, in the first step, what we do is, as we have seen the SIPOC input, process, and output, right? Here in the measure phase, we identify in each area of input, process, and output, what are the measurable attributes. For example, let's continue the same SIPOC example of the tea making process. In the input measure, I will measure the quantity of water, quality of water, quantity and quality of milk. What amount of milk I am putting per cup of tea. And quality, let's say a buffalo milk and a cow milk, both will be different, taste will be different. Even the brand, let's say Mother Dairy and Amul, the brands will also have a different taste, right? Same goes with the tea powder. The Society tea and Taj Mahal tea, there will be two different tastes and quality of the tea, right? Even the quality and quantity of sugar, also the similar kind of thing. So measure the input. Then what are the process measures? Temperature, time to boil, stirring time. What are the output measures? The taste of the tea, the delivery time, customer satisfaction rating. All these things are the output rating of this. Okay, so we will collect the data. First we'll list down the measures and we'll start collecting the data about it, because this will be important for us to identify each and every factor's impact on my output. Are you understanding this? Yes. So let's do one thing. From your own process, give me one input, one process and one output measure in the chat. Okay, just you write like this, input and then shift enter, just press shift enter, otherwise it will be then process, or you can just write I, P and O, that's it. That will also will be very good. Okay, and then output, and then you enter. Input, just give me one measure which you are measuring or which you will measure in your project. Process measure and one output measure. Yeah, I'm just waiting for your input here. Go ahead and put one input, one process, one output measure in your own process. So it should be measurable. Understand this. There has to be some measurement criteria. Yes, type in the chat box if you can understand this. So we are just identifying the parallels in your own process. Then only you will understand this. And even learning Lean Six Sigma, whenever you are learning the concept, try to connect with your own project or own process. That will help you out. Okay. Okay. Bead wire diameter is the input. Process is temperature of die head, very good, and output is extruded bead wire, absolutely right, very nice. Now in extruded bead wire output, Jitendraji, give me one major parameter. Okay, is it diameter again, or is it the density, or is exactly what, conductivity, what exactly is that, what are the measures basically? So generally your quality measures would fall into this. Okay, your quality person must be checking some of the output quality parameters. So those will fall into these output measures. Okay. So extruded wire is the output, but what are you measuring in that output? That is most important. Width and the thickness, exactly. So this is called a measure along with the diameter. Very good, very good, very good. Input is students. Now here I will write number of students. What are you measuring here is number of students. Process is maybe number of hours of training or a training rating, all right, and the results percentage students pass. Okay, students percentage. So what are you measuring? Okay, that is the most important. Raw thickness, input is the raw thickness, bending angle and specification dimension. Very good, Kiranji, fantastic. Incident step applied to resolve, and see, we are understand this, that it is not input process output, it is input measure, process measure and output measure. What are we measuring in input? What are we measuring in process? What are we measuring in output? Are you understanding? It is not input process output, it is input measure, process measure and output measure. Okay, incidents here, Rajeshji, number of incidents. Okay, steps applied to resolve, yeah, that can be one of the measure. Time taken by the steps to resolve is the output. Yes, so time is the measure here. Very good, very good. Feedback is a measure. Very good. Specification, dimension, again CTQ. Very good, very good. Solder paste viscosity is the input, viscosity measurement of the process is the output, and the output, once the product's viscosity is the output. Yes, okay, very good. I hope you have understood this. Just give me yes in the chat box. Just give me a quick yes. Everybody, any doubt in this, please put it in the chat and I will answer your queries, okay? See here, these sessions are to clarify your doubts, to take your understanding to the deeper level. That is the main objective of this. I just don't want to just stick this, okay? I can stretch this session for 4 hours, 5 hours as well, unless and until your doubts are clear. Provided you have the energy to stay here, okay? Input is employee hiring. Okay, what are you measuring in employee hiring? Taking 6 months time to provide all the trainings and all the things. Is process, and output is how he is implementing all things in the system. Okay, again, Amleji, it seems like input, process, output. What are you measuring into that? Okay, for example, employee hiring input would be time, average time taken for the hiring process can be the input. Okay, average time for the training, average duration of all the employees for the training can be a measure. Okay, and output can be it can be how much average time that employee is taking, let's say, to handle a project independently. Okay, or to implement the things on the system independently, how much time on an average that employee is taking. So this is called a measure, and your objective is to reduce each and every timeline. Hiring time reduction can be a project. Okay, your what you can say, training time effectiveness reduction can be a if training time reduction and effectiveness improvement can be a project. And then how you can reduce the the employee who should become independent very fast. Okay, so these are the basically measures, measure, it should be measurable. Okay, now let's go to when the moment you collect the data. The data would be of the two types. One is continuous, another is the discrete data. Okay, very simple but very important distinction for all of us. Example, continuous meaning, we have a scale, let's say, centimeter scale or millimeter scale. We have, small, then, on a continuous scale we can measure like height, length, breadth, width. This is all continuous data. Like 10.1, let's say this is 10, this is 11, this is 12, this is 13, this is 14, etc. Then in between 10.1, 10.2, 10.3, 10.11, 11.1, 11. So on the continuous scale we can measure. Okay, so this continuous we can measure on a continuous scale, and we can show them with the decimals as well. I can say that it is 1.5 meter, 1.6 meter, 1.7. So with the decimals also I can express this. On the other side, there are discrete data, and these data are count data, and generally we don't show them on the decimals. So no decimals, they are whole numbers basically. For example, number of people in the room. So we go and count the number of people in the room. That is called a count data. It's called discrete data. Number of defects, discrete data. Number of rejections, discrete data. How many pass fail, go no go, male female. Are you understanding? So this is called discrete data. Generally we count discrete data, and generally we measure continuous data. Continuous data meaning height, length, weight, speed, temperature, pressure, speed. All these things are the continuous data which are measured on a continuous scale, and discrete data is counted without decimals. Are you clear with this distinction? Just give me yes in the chat box. Clear? Okay, very good. So let me give you one, let's give me one continuous example and one discrete example of your own process. Just give me one continuous and one discrete example. Let's see this, how much you have understood this. Give me one continuous example and one discrete example. Type in the chat box quickly. Everybody should contribute into this, okay? Yeah, so here you can say, Jitendra ji, the length or the diameter, okay, or the width, that is called the continuous data, which of course we can use vernier caliper, the screw gauge or a scale. Height of the component, yes, it's a continuous data. Very good. Give me a discrete data example. Number of components can be discrete data. Are you understanding? Let's say height of the component is a continuous data and number of components is a discrete data. Height, weight, width, discrete is reject or okay. Very good. So how many tires we have and how many tires accepted, how many tires rejected. It's called discrete data. Yeah, give me more. Number of components is a discrete data. Very good. So height is a continuous data and number of components is a discrete data. Yeah. What else? Everybody just give me examples. There are very few people who are contributing here. Angle in degrees is a continuous data, okay, and the number of machines is a discrete data. Very good, superb. Give me examples, more examples. Clear, but very simple. Understood, everybody? Tight or loose bead wire on the gauge is a discrete data. Very nice. And continuous is the length and the width, etc. Very good, superb. So always understand this. Which data is preferred? Continuous data is always preferred because continuous data gives us more information. For example, let me give you example. Now you have options like let's say example like, I have a chocolate weight data. Chocolate, okay, weight data, weight. And here is whether to accept or reject, okay, accept or reject. Let's say the specification is it should be 100 grams and above. If it is below 100 grams, I will reject it, okay. So the first chocolate is 101.1 grams, so I will accept it. Second chocolate is 100.2 grams, I'll accept it. Third chocolate is 99.8 grams, I will reject it, okay, etc. So this is called continuous data and this is called discrete data. Are you understanding this? Yes. So now which data is preferred? Always understand is wherever there is a choice between continuous and discrete, always select the continuous data. Always, because with the help of continuous data, you can find out the trends, patterns, you can do lot of analysis which tomorrow we will do with the help of Minitab. Okay, you can do histogram, you can do box plots, you can do process capability analysis. There are so many things which you can do with the help of continuous data. Okay, discrete data is just like, I'll give you example. For your child, if the school only gives information like pass or fail, that is called discrete data. Instead, you want exactly the percentage score. If you get 90.2%, that is also pass, and somebody who has scored 50% is also pass. So how better my student has performed, my child has performed, that you will not get to know unless until you have a continuous data with you. Are you understanding? Just give me yes in the chat box. So discrete gives us limited information, continuous gives us more information. We can find out trends, patterns, analysis, very well with the help of continuous data. So whenever you have choice between discrete and continuous, try to get more continuous data. Are you clear? Just give me yes in the chat box. So wherever you have discrete data, try to check, can I convert it into continuous as well? Okay, instead of accept, reject, go, no go, can I find exactly the measurement? Can I get the data of the measurement as well? I'm not saying you stop taking discrete data. Okay, continue the discrete data as well, but along with that parallelly, can I get a continuous data as well? That will give us more information, which is on a statistical point of view will be very, very important and helpful for us. Okay, superb. Now once you collect the data, discrete, continuous, let's talk about statistics. Okay, now when it comes to statistics I have defined very simply for you. It is a science of converting data into information. Very simple definition of statistics. Statistics is a science which converts data into information. See, our brain, a human brain, is not wired basically to identify the the trends and patterns of the data. If I show you the Excel numbers, your brain will not be able to comprehend it, interpret it. We have to convert that into some graph, some pattern, some trends, then only we will be able to interpret it. And that's what exactly statistics does. Okay, if I give you the raw data of, let's say, sales of last 3 years, you will not be able to comprehend anything. But the moment I convert that into a trend chart, okay, for example, it will look like this. So I will have some patterns like this. Okay, so that means I have got some areas where my cell goes down. So it's a cyclic pattern I am observing. Are you understanding? So my data is converted into some information now. Now I will investigate, and from that information I will get some wisdom. Yeah, this definition is very simple. The science which converts data into information. Very simple. The science which converts data into information. It's called statistics. Now, from information, we have to investigate deeper with our process knowledge and convert that information into wisdom. And that is what entire game is all about. And I always say Lean Six Sigma is all about statistics plus your process knowledge as well. if you know the process very well, you can use these tools effectively. Okay, so when it comes to statistics, there are two types of statistics which comes into picture. One is called descriptive statistics. You can just take a screenshot of this. Descriptive statistics and inferential statistics. Okay, descriptive and inferential. Let me give you an example. Descriptive is all about a sample and inferential is all about the population. I hope everybody is aware of sample and population. For example, let's say SNG has 10,000 students, paid members community. That's the entire population of SNG. And right now there are 50 people, 30 people sitting in the room. It's a sample, it's a representative sample of this entire population. We have 1.5 billion people in India. And we take, let's say, sample from each and every step. Let's say a state. Let's say there are 30 states, and if I have taken, samples of the salary, or the sample of height, or the education, or the weight, or whatever it is, right? If I want to collect some data, I will collect sample of 1,000 data points from each and every state. It's a sample from the population. If there is a T20 World Cup match going on, 20 over is the population, and let's say 5 overs, 40 runs and 2 wickets is a sample. And this is called descriptive statistics. Description about a sample is called descriptive statistics. And in the same match, there is something called projected score. That is called as a inferential statistics. So from that sample data, we are inferring that if the same trend continues, then the team can make 160 runs, 170, 180 runs at the end of the 20 overs. This is called inferential statistics. Are you clear with this? Just give me yes in the chat box. Actual result they will announce based on the sampling. Exactly. So the election, those, those surveys, etc., done through the sampling of the data as well. Okay. So descriptive, inferential, clear. So when it comes to descriptive statistics, there are two parts. One is called central tendency. Okay. Now you would have seen me making such kind of normal distribution data curves. Okay. So tomorrow we will go deeper into this. We'll go to the statistical analysis on Minitab, which you will appreciate. Today we'll cover the theory. Tomorrow we'll do the statistical practical on Minitab. Okay. So tomorrow make sure that you come with the laptop and come with the Minitab installed in that, so that you can do a lot of exercise. So I'll give you the files for doing this doing this analysis, and we'll do it live in the session itself. Okay, so that you will get some hands-on experience of how you can do it. Now this is of any of the data distribution. This is called normal distribution or bell-shaped distribution, or you can say histogram. Okay, right? So this is the if it's there for different belts. Few minutes prior also guide us how to access the notes and the syllabus. Yes, I'll come to that. Okay, I'll come to that. Now here in the descriptive study, once you collect the data and you plot the data like this, you will have a center here, and that is called central tendency. How you can find out the center of the data? There are three ways: mean, mode, and median. And along with the center, there is something called a data dispersion, or the spread of the data. One is the center and other is the spread. Okay, there could be another distribution which will be like this, where the same center is there, but the spread of this distribution is very high. And the spread is measured by range, variance, and standard deviation. Are you clear? So centered is measured by mean, mode, median, and the spread is measured by range, variance, standard deviation. And on the other side, the inferential statistics, we have correlation, regression, hypothesis, confidence interval, and all these things, which we'll cover tomorrow. Okay, so today we'll cover mean, mode, median, range, variance, standard deviation, and inferential we'll cover tomorrow. Are you clear? Just give me yes in the chat box. Now let's talk about this part, theoretical part today. Okay, central tendency and a dispersion. Now let's start with, so descriptive and inferential we have taken. So let's start with the central tendency. The first one is called mean. Mean, we all know, is a simple average of the data. Simple average of the data is called mean, right? For example, let's say if I've taken 5 days of production and I've taken add them up and divide by 5, it's called the mean production, which is 615 in this case. Simple average. Okay, a lot of times we use this. The most used way of defining the central tendency is the average only. Okay, then comes the mode. Mode is nothing but it is the maximum occurring value of the data set. Maximum frequently occurring value of the data set is called mode. For example, let's look at this. In this case, which is the highest occurring value which is coming frequently? Just observe this and type in chat box. Everybody look at this data set and which value is occurring more frequently, most frequently, I would say. Very good, very good. Everybody is typing 75 because 75 1, 75 2, 75 3. So there are 3 times. No, 80 is only 2 times, right? So 75 is 3 times. That's why the winner in this case is 75. So 1, 2 and 3. 80 is only 2 times. Okay. Now if I want to plot this distribution, it will be like, for example, let's say 60, 65, 70, 75, then you have 80, etc., 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 or 85, something like that. Okay. So 60 how many times? Let's say 1 time. 65 and 67, let's say. So 65 is, let's say, 2 times. Okay. 70, there is no 70. 75, I have got 3 times. So here. Then I have got 80 2 times. 80 here 2 times. And then there is something called 90 as well, which is 90 1 time, right? So this is a distribution which will look like this. Are you clear with this? Just give me a in chat. So here, this is called the median. Clear, everybody? Yes. The mean will be, if I add all of them, and divide by number of data point, that is called a mode. The mean. Okay. Very good. So this is called the mode. Now, what if I have got 80, another 80 here? That means 375 and 380. What will be this distribution called? Type in the chat box. What will be this distribution called? Or what will be the mode in this case? So I have got 375, 1, 2 and 3, and I have got 380, 1, 2 and 3. What will be the mode in this case? Will it be 75 or will it be 80? Or there will be no mode? Or the average of these two? Yeah, so answer this question first. What will be the mode in that case? Everybody. Give me wrong answers, right answers. No answer is, I want answers from you. Okay. Average of these two modes, 75, 80, 72, which is 72 कहाँ से आ गया? 72. What is 72? I think 80 and 75 average, but I don't know 72. No? It must be 77.5, something like that. Between 75. Okay. So in this case, it is called as bimodal distribution. What is that? Bimodal. Bi meaning 2. So there are 2 modes here, 75 as well as 80. And if I draw this, it will look like a camelback distribution. So this will be 75 and this will be 80. There will be 2 modes here. Clear? Even though it can be a symmetrical distribution, still it is not normal distribution, because normally you will not get similar kind of distribution. So bimodal is not normal distribution. Apart from this, what if all of them are same frequency? What will be the mode in that case? Let's say 75 2 times, 62 times, 65 2 times, 82 times, 92 times, or 1 time or 3 times, whatever it is, the same frequency every data point. What will be the mode in that case? So it will look like this, okay, something like this. All the data points at the same frequency. What will be the distribution called as? So there is no mode. This is called a no mode situation, and the distribution is called as uniform distribution. Uniform distribution. All the data is uniformly distributed, and there is no mode. Not a single data point which is more frequency. Okay, highest frequency, because everything is equal, right? It's called uniform distribution. Even though it is, you can cut it into two halves, it is not the symmetrical distribution, it is not normal distribution. Clear? Everybody's clear with me? Just give me yes in a chat box. Simple. Mean mode clear hai? Let's talk about the median. What is median? Median is nothing but if I put the data in the ascending or descending order, whatever comes in the center. For example, this is a data set. I arrange the data set in the ascending order, lowest to highest, and 19 comes in the center, and this is called as median. So you arrange the data set in the ascending to descending order. Whatever comes in the center is called median. So now you don't have to do it. Software will do it for you. But you need to understand what is there. Okay. Now, along with that, let's say if I add another value here, 42. Now, because there were 7 data points, only one data which was in the center was 19. But now I have made it even. I have got 8 data points. What will be the median in that case? Type in the chat box. Everybody, just give me the answer. 25. Now in that case, I will have 2 values in the center. So I've got 3 on this side, I've got 3 on this side, and 2 values in the center. So I will take average of these 2 values, which will be 22. That's how I will find out the median. Clear? So in case of even number, I will get 2 values. In case of odd values, odd numbers, data points, I will get only 1 value, which is the median. In case of even number, the 2 central values average I will take. Clear, everybody? Now, how many of you are aware of something called a percentile? Type in the chat box. Yes, I am aware of it. What is percentile? Where have you heard about this term called percentile? Have you heard about the term called percentile before? CGPA. Okay, marks, academics, competitive exams, JEE. Very good, very good, superb. So what is percentile? It's not percentage. Percentage is very simple. Out of 100, how much you have scored, right? That is called percentage. But percentile is a different calculation altogether, right? So whenever you have to explain, see, understand this. I always follow this principle. This was told by my guru actually. Whenever you are explaining the concept, generally some statistical concepts, some difficult concepts, let's say, you have to explain as if you are explaining to a 10-year-old or a 12-year-old with a very simple examples, very simple logic. Okay, example. Now, how will I explain percentile? Let's say, imagine this kind of data set is like a cake. Okay, a horizontal cake, just like a, we have a bread, no? Imagine a huge extended bread like a cake. Okay, now I want to cut this cake into equal tea cake. Okay, I want to cut this entire cake into 100 equal parts. So I have to actually cut it into 99 cuts. I will take 99 cuts to make 100 equal parts. Okay, so each and every cut is called a percentile. Now imagine this cake is nothing but the data from lowest value to highest value I have arranged. Okay, and then I want to divide that entire set of data into 100 equal parts. So every part is called as a percentile. Are you clear with this? Just give me yes in the chat box. So I will take 99 cuts and each and every cut is called percentile. Clear? With a simple example, just understand the analogy. Okay, now with the same analogy, let's talk about something called quartile. What is quartile? Now with the same cake, I want to divide that into not in 100 but 4 parts. Quarter meaning 4. So core 4 part. How many cuts I will have to make? Type in the chat box. How many cuts I will take? Everybody type in the chat box. For that cake, I want to make into 4 equal pieces. How many cuts I will make? 3 cuts, right? Fantastic. So 1, 2 and 3. The moment I make 3 cuts, I will divide that into 4 equal parts, correct? Now understand this. So this cut, okay, this cut, can I call it as 25th or let me draw it once again here. This is the cake. I cut them into 4 equal parts here. Okay. Now this first cut, I will call it as quartile 1 because this is I'm talking about the quartile, right? Second cut, I will call it as quartile 2. Third cut, I will call it as quartile 3. There are 3 cuts, right? Can I say first quartile or quartile 1 as 25th percentile? Can I say that? Just give me yes or no in the chat box. In the percentile terms, will it be 25th cut, right? Can I say second quartile as 50th percentile, yes or no? Can I say third quartile as 75th percentile, yes or no? Can I say quartile 2 as 50th percentile? Can I say that as median? Can I say that? So this is quartile terminology and this is percentile terminology. The same thing. The same data set I can divide into. Got it? And the center is nothing but if I arrange the data set from the lowest value. So this is the lowest value and this is the highest value. This is the highest value and this is the lowest value. So from in this data set, this is my quartile 1, this is my quartile 2 and this is my quartile 3. Quartile 2 is nothing but my median. I mean, if you got it, just give me yes in the chat box. So tomorrow when we will learn about the box plots, we will come to know this terminology. So you will immediately understand it because now fundamentals are clear about quartiles and percentiles. Clear? Very good, very good. So mean, mode, median is clear now. In the data set, very good, very good. Application tomorrow we will see. Okay, in the data set, in the normal distribution, mean, mode and median are in the center. They are very close to each other. And that is what you can say character of the normal distribution. What is non-normal distribution is something like this called skewed distribution where mean, mode and median are different. That is called skewed distribution. That's why we measure mean, mode, median. Are you understanding this? Just give me yes in the chat box. Mean, mode, median clear hai? Very good, very good. So it defines the central tendency, the skewness of the data, etc., etc., etc. Okay. Tomorrow when we'll do practical, you will understand it even better. Now this is what mean, mode, median is the central tendency. Let's talk about the dispersion now. Okay, so let me take you to this, this one. Okay, you can see here the central tendency, mean, mode, median we have taken care of. Now we are taking care of the dispersion, the spread of the data. How it will be measured? Range, variance and standard deviation. Okay, so let me talk about that range, variance and standard deviation. So the range is very simple, which is called what you can say highest to lowest. Okay, highest to lowest is called the what you can say range. Range is a very simple way of identifying the just a second, simplest way of identifying your database, the lowest value and the highest value. For example, let's say if in this current room there would be the tallest person, let's say 180 centimeter, and the shortest person is 150 centimeter. The difference between these two is called the range of the data set. Okay. Now let me just quickly give you one data here, if it is available. All right, let me just quickly unhide it. All right, so let me share this data with you. So range is clear, everybody? If range is clear, let me share with you this. Let's talk about the standard deviation and variance. Okay, imagine this is the data distribution. Okay, and we have seen how this distribution is plotted earlier, right? I've already given you the example. Now what we do is, basically, to calculate the variance or standard deviation, first of all we calculate the mean. Okay, the central tendency. So imagine, let's say this is a central, this is the center of this. Okay, now each and every data point, what is the distance of each and every data point that we calculate? Like D1, from this data point from the center is D1, from this data point from center is D2, from this data point D3, from this data point D4, from this data point D5, etc., etc. So we calculate for each and every data point what is the distance from the center, which is the mean. Okay, understand this. Now from this side the values will be negative because they are lesser values here. Okay, and from this side the values will be positive because this value is greater than the mean value. Okay, now if I take the average, for example, let's say D3 is -2 and D1 and D4 are +2, example I'm giving. Now if I take the average of this, it will come to 0 because minus and plus will clash with each other and I will not get the average distance, from the mean. So what these statisticians do, to calculate the average distance, they take the squared value, because squared value is always a positive value. Correct? To calculate the average distance from the center, from the mean, they take the squared value. You can see this this formula. Okay, D1 square, so -2 square is 4 and not -4. Okay, so D1 square plus D2 square plus D3 square plus D4 square, D5 square, and divided by number of data points, which is n. And the moment they take this value, it's called as variance. Okay, variance is shown as sigma square. Okay, like this. And because we have taken a squared value, we take the square root of that, and square root of variance is called as standard deviation, which is sigma. Simple. And this is called as standard deviation. Are you clear with the formula? So first we calculate the mean, then we calculate all the distances, we square the distance and take the average. Okay, this average of the squared value is called variance, and because they are squared, we take the square root. That's it. This is called as standard deviation. Now, for a simple layman, what is standard deviation? What is standard deviation? Just to simplify this, average distance of every value from the mean is called standard deviation. Very simple. Average distance from every value, every data point from the mean value, it's called standard deviation. So more the distance, more will be the standard deviation. That means more is the spread of the data. Okay, like this. Standard deviation will be very high. Let's say standard deviation will be very high. Okay, and if the spread is less, like this, then the standard deviation will be very low. Are you understanding this? Just give me yes in the chat box. More the spread, more standard deviation. Lesser the spread, lesser standard deviation. Are you clear? Just give me yes in the chat box. Now why we should measure this? Because if I put the specification limits, which tomorrow we will do, anything which goes beyond specification limits is a defect, right? And we all know that whatever you want to improve, you have to measure first, right? So variation, more the rejection. So we have to basically measure the variation, which is nothing but standard deviation. Let me give you this analogy here just to easily explain you this. Look at this diagram. Okay, look at this diagram. Here you can see this is first case here. N is equal to number of data points 23. X bar is nothing but the mean, which is this average, this center point. And S is equal to standard deviations. Okay, standard deviation of the sample, which is 1.75. Let's talk about the second scenario. The same number of data points, same center, which is, but look at the spread. Earlier spread was very high. Now the spread is reduced and the standard deviation is 1.41 now. Look at the third data point, same number of data points, same center, which is 5. But the spread is reduced even drastically, which is 0.85. Can you see here? As the spread is coming, now understand this. If I put specification limits here throughout, okay. So this process will make maximum defects. This process will make lesser defects, and this process will make no defects. Are you clear with this? That's why we have to bring the process to the center, and the measure is standard deviation. So lesser the standard deviation, better is our process. And less amount of cost of poor quality rejection percentage will be there, and we can save a lot of money going down the drain. And this is nothing but simple analogy of Six Sigma. Clear? Everybody clear with this? Just give me quick yes in the chat box. Any doubt, any question on this? Very good, very good, very good. Superb, superb. Now let me just quickly share my screen on any question you have, plus just put it in the chat box quickly. So I want to just share with you because so all the new members, basically what is expected from you is start your journey with the green belt. Okay, so if you have not completed your green belt course, okay, just please go through this, course number 1. Anybody in the room who has not got the, the login ID, password, etc., etc. Okay, please, you can just check with the mentor's number. Okay, I have already given you the mentor's number. This is the mentor's number. So you can check out, send a message that I have not got the login ID, password, I'm having some challenges, etc. So just go through this course content and take some notes. Okay, so there are some referral notes you have been given here. You can please prepare your notes, and sample notes have been given. Just click on start and start absorbing this content. Make the notes. Okay, this is introduction to Lean Six Sigma. Then this is the DMAC overview. Then we start with define phase. Then there is a Minitab access given. Then measure phase. Then analyze, improve, control, etc. Okay, yes. And so this is the what is the challenge, Krish? Can you just quickly brief about this? What exactly is the challenge in login ID, password? Please let me know. Okay, so here you can see this is the course content basically. Okay, once you have gone through this, then you attend the hackathon, and once you are done with this, then you attempt the examination. So this is how basically this works. All right. And you can access this from the mobile phone, any desktop, laptop, okay, in all the sort. If you want to go for the Minitab, then you require a laptop with Windows. Okay, that is the only requirement we have. All right, yes. If you want, or otherwise you can just connect on the mentor's number, and we'll figure out over there. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll stop here today. Okay, tomorrow we'll come with the same enthusiasm at 7 p.m. and tomorrow make sure you have a laptop and the Minitab installed, because we'll do Minitab exercises tomorrow. Okay, so it will be around from 7 to 9:30, etc. Okay, own laptop, Dr. Pranati. Always use your own laptop, because see, your company laptop, first of all, it will require the IT approvals, etc. Secondly, if you leave the job and switch your jobs to some other, that will remain in that laptop, and you will not get the benefit, right? So better to do it on your own laptop always. Okay, use your personal laptops, personal email IDs. Okay, I will not recommend you to use your professional, your official email ID, etc. Because again, it's a temporary one. You can stay there for 10 years, 15 or 20 years, but what after that, right? So you can use it for your personal usage. Okay. Um, yeah, so for Mac users, there is a small change you have to do. Just send a message on the mentor's number. See, what has happened is Minitab, whatever, the multi-user license we have is for the Windows. Okay. So for Mac, we have to use a little bit of change. Okay. See, after that license, Minitab has switched to the per annum subscription model. Okay. They have stopped the perpetual license model, so that's the only difficulty. Okay, and right now the price is around 1.75 lakh rupees per annum subscription. So which all the working professionals, unless and until you are a top management and your package is very good, you can afford it. But apart from that, majority of the people cannot afford $2.25 lakh का per annum का Minitab license खर्चा. Okay, and I don't want you guys to for that. Okay, so just send a message and we will give you some option for this. Okay, yeah, thank you very much for joining in. Tomorrow we will connect again with the same enthusiasm, and we'll focus on the practical Minitab exercises on in the major phase, as well as we'll start the analyze phase as well tomorrow. Okay. Yeah, thank you very much, Sandeep ji, for your appreciation right throughout the session. Also, you were appreciating a lot. It meant a lot for us. Okay, thank you very much. Keep learning, keep